Well, alrighty now. Hopefully, we can go through this without any issues with Streamlabs. What's going on, everybody? Uh, a bit under the weather these past couple of days, but so if my nose, or rather, if I sound nasally or if I sound like it's because I am a bit sick. It is not the vid or anything like that. It's just allergies, thank God. But I hate this time of year when we're getting closer to spring and it gets real cold and gets warm and stuff like that. What's going on, Tyrone? What's going on? We're going to let people filter in real quick. And then, thank you. I greatly appreciate that. Just been drinking a lot of water, so we're going to go ahead, filter in a couple people, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. So yeah, I don't want to go too far without having everybody in here though. So let me see. So I'm gonna let people. Let's see. We got about like 6 more minutes, and then we'll get started. Let's see. Alright, let me just make sure. Alright, cool. So that's going good there. Had to make sure the stream was working. Alrighty. So let me go ahead. And so people aren't bored to death. Here is my depth chart of the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. Let me see. Can you yeah, you guys can see. Okay, cool. So, on this screen, we're going to go through a couple of things. You shared on Twitter. Awesome. Thank you. So, in case you guys are wondering, we have a bunch of free agents, and the Cowboys are going to have to make some decisions. So, the first part of the offseason is usually your coaching. What are you going to do there? So, as you can see here, we got Kellen Moore coming back for his 4th year with the team as offensive coordinator. Dan Quinn has been retained. He's going into year 2, and Mike McCarthy is now in year 3. This is a huge, huge year. If you are Mike McCarthy, if you're Kellen Moore, because you don't really have as much leeway going into. Well, I disagree with that statement with the current. But the point being is that because you have guys like Sean Payton, Dan Quinn available, and Jerry Jones has kind of made it clear that, listen, Mike, you better not F up or you're out of here. Because, I've told Mike that someone else is going to be head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. like, you know what I mean? The point being, this is a huge year for the Cowboys. They got a bunch of free agents. So for your guide, if you're watching this in the replay, or you're watching this now, anything in yellow, or the light yellow, whatever color, is a free agent. So I've already talked about this on repeat on the channel. Your biggest position groups in terms of departures are linebacker and wide receiver. Now, I will say that linebacker, you got some leeway, primarily because I think you have 1 or 2 restricted free agents in Luke Gifford or Francis Bernard. I forget who's who. But aside from that, you have a lot of tough decisions to make. Now, I want to make this emphatically clear if you're, again, watching this on the replay so that I can stress this. And I'll say this a bunch of times during the stream. This is we're going to go over what I think the Cowboys should do, what I would do if I was GM, and just the overall possibilities that the Dallas Cowboys have at their disposal, because there is this idea that the Cowboys cannot do anything. The Cowboys cannot structure, they can't go after the high-priced free agents. That's all BS, okay? Yes, Joseph, left guard is a glaring need, and we'll talk about that. To kind of get started, if I'm looking at this at face value, so like I mentioned, my coaches, they're all coming back, okay? So if it were me, you know, what sucks is that, with Kellen Moore, the only redeeming quality that he has, regardless of, regardless of how you feel on him, is that he's young. And I hate to say it like that, but that's the only thing he has going for him. What's going on, Cowboy fan talk? What's going on, Rome? Put Collins at guard. What's going on, Lobo? What's going on, everybody? So, when I'm kind of looking at that, I'm like, okay, so we're having another year with the same system and all that other stuff. So, to kind of go forward, let's now transition to some roster management software stuff. And I love using Spot Rack, or whatever the hell you pronounce it, because it's whatever. Now, their numbers aren't fully accurate. The Cowboys, I believe, are now $21 million over the cap, but they're going to restructure Dak's deal, so I think they'll be like $5 million under the cap. I don't remember. So we already know that Dak's being restructured. Now, again, the numbers are not going to be fully accurate, so I'm just going off of what this is saying. But, realistically, the Cowboys can create a lot more cap space if need be. Now, if you've followed me for a long time, you've known my opinion on restructuring has changed, because it really comes down, because now that you kind of see how other teams are doing it, there's a formula to that. The only time you should restructure a player is if you know you're going to keep them long term, because all you're doing is pushing the guaranteed money, and rather you're basically prolonging how long you're going to keep that person. So if you say to yourself, well, I feel like I'm going to keep my quarterback long term, then you don't have to have any issues with restructuring the quarterback. If you feel like you're going to keep, I'll get into that in 1 second, Lobo, because I have a thing on that. If you're going to keep Amari Cooper, whether you restructure his deal or not, I mean, you could cut him. No issues whatsoever, as people outside are talking. But this is kind of where we're going to diverge. Because like I said at the beginning, I'm going to run this thing like if I was running the Cowboys. Because ultimately, the Cowboys can do some moves. And I think that a lot of people are failing to understand that. And it's because Steven has this stupid idea that, we can't do it. Hit the mic. We can't do anything, all that other crap. So if it were me, okay, is there any other moves that I would make? Cuts, restructures. So I had to pull up my notes. I'm keeping Amari Cooper. Okay, so I'm restructuring his deal. I don't see a reason to cut Amari Cooper, nor is there a reason to cut him right now, because you haven't really gotten much. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't win without Amari Cooper. It's just the problem is that I don't think the Cowboys are well positioned to do that. And more importantly, obviously, if I was running the team or someone else that was competent, if you let Amari Cooper go, I think that you would know what you got to do come free agency. Get like 2 or 3 receivers and go into the draft. But I'm doing that. I'm keeping Zach Martin long term, so I'm going to restructure him. DeMarcus Lawrence is a weird conversation, because for me, if you kind of look at it, if you were to cut him, you're saving $8 million. If you restructure him, you're still saving that $8 million. So here, I think people can make an argument for both, and I'm gonna thank you, Joseph, because that's another thing. So for me, I would restructure D-Law, and primarily due to the fact that he only has like 2 more years left on his deal. So there really is no point. Like, I mean, he's towards the tail end of his deal. You don't need to get out of that contract, and I don't think same thing like the Amari Cooper situation. You do not have an adequate replacement on standby. Oh, well, what about Randy Gregory? Well, you're still going to have to pay him that top-end money, whether you like it or not. So I'm keeping DeMarcus Lawrence. I'll restructure him. Now, releases. So let's see. Anthony Brown, if he were to be cut today, would save the Dallas Cowboys $5 million on the salary cap, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut Terrell Basham, because I don't think I think you can get better options at defensive end. and I'm cutting Greg Zuerlein. You know, so so now, if we do our math correctly, you now have because again, this is off by a bit because there's like a $5 million differential because it's not including the adjustment. So now you have about like 28 million, 29 million in cap space. I saw your tweet about Steven Jones. Yeah. Yep, exactly. Space. Oh, yeah. So the Cowboys hired a guy that works with Kellen Moore. And the biggest thing is like, why would you do that? You know, people are asking, why would you do that? Like, my thing is that, you know, what is his name? Hold on. Let me see if I can find his name, because I don't want to be, like, stupid like that. What's his name? Robert Prince. Deep ties to Kellen Moore. So you're kind of empowering Kellen Moore a bit, but I'm just trying to see what other people are kind of not basing my opinion on what other people say, but kind of just. But let's see. I believe he was the offensive coordinator while he was in college. So I mean, like, I don't know how I feel about that because, like, again, I don't know how that's going to translate into the NFL, but I think that you get someone that kind of can help him, but I don't really care because, again, that doesn't matter. Okay. Again, sorry, if you guys are just joining, I am a bit under the weather, so if I sound nasally or, it's because of that. So, I think those are pretty much all the moves that you can make. Now, if you see Keanu Neal and some of these other free agents, don't worry. The system has already made them free agents. So, the first thing I'm looking to do is re-sign some players. Okay? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Tyrone. Like, I guess that makes sense. I mean, we'll see how that, again, I got to wait and see it. So, now the next thing is re-signings. So, the number one guy that I'm looking to bring back on the defensive side of the ball is Jaron Kearse. So I wasn't really able to get any metrics to determine what his market value is, but I'm assuming it's going to be between $4 to $6 million. So I think the Cowboys might bring him back, or they might not, excuse me, because again, the money, but that's kind of where it's irritating. So for me, where is he at? Alright, let's see. So the first thing I'm doing, where is he at? Jaron Kearse. Okay. Signed free agent. I'm going to put him, now again, I want to make this emphatically clear going forward so I can set this expectation. You can mess with contracts so that, like, you can have them front-loaded, back-loaded, whatever the case may be. I'm just going to have it at a flat rate to make it as easy as possible. So I don't want to get it so goddamn complicated. So I'm going to say we pay him a nice little $4.5 million over 3 years. Space, that's a bit too much. Well, you got to realize that is the market value for a guy like Jaron Kearse, and considering the fact that is going to be a guy that's going to be a staple on your team, I would definitely do that. So, the next thing I'm looking to do is bring back Malik Turner on a cheap deal. Actually, a couple cheap deals here, and I'm gonna. I already wrote this down. So Malik Turner. Thank God they have this here. So Francis Bernard, and Mitch Hyatt are your restricted free agents. Jacob McQuaid, your punter. Who else was it? And where's Brent? Brent Urban. Signed free agents. These are the 5 guys that I know for a fact I'm bringing back. So we're gonna do like a 1 year, $1 million. Another cheap deal. I'm doing a $1.5 million deal over 3 years for Brian Anger, and then Brent Urban, same thing. So a bunch of 1 year deals. Space, can we check the... Yeah, sure. Let's see. Is he here? I don't see him. Is he a corner, or is he labeled as a corner? That's right. I'll just search him. Okay, market value. Derwin James's market value is $15.7 million. I find that hard to believe, though. But let's see. Why are they coming up with this number? Games played. Okay, I can see that, but is this a career? Like a statistical career thing? I don't think he's gonna get 15 million. I think he'll get like 10. Like I think he'll get like a 1-year 10. That's freaking ridiculous. That is god unbelievably insane. What the hell? All right, let's go back to free agents. Let me pull up that list, and then we're gonna head back. Well, that's doing that. So, let me see if I did this right. Yeah. So there was another thing I did in the game. Oh. So the numbers that were, so it says it's like 15, but we're really at like $19 million in positive cap space. So now, this is why I wish cap space was a thing. Well, no, it's not that big of a deal. It's more so the part that kind of bugs the hell out of me is that you really don't have a whole lot of options. Or rather, excuse me, you have the finagle around. So, like, here, for example, do I want to touch Zeke's contract? Hell no. But you might, but again, like, I wouldn't touch Zeke's contract because then I could get rid of him later. Because, again, all that money for a freaking running back. Let me see what Malik did. Because that was something I was contemplating as well. And then we're going to do a mock, just as a heads up, I'm going to do a mock draft later. Let's see, do they have his market value up? No. So he was on a 1-year prove-it deal. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind bringing him back, but I don't know how much money that would be. I'm going to assume we're looking at like $3 million over 3 years, maybe. Or 2 years or something like that. So let's go ahead and... I'm going to just say $3 million over 3 years. Like, make it like an Anthony Brownish contract, I guess. I don't know. So now, you got about 15 million. So now that's kind of, well, not really, because I'll show you what moves we can make. I don't want KZ back. Me neither. I think you can upgrade there. I think if you bring back Malik Hooker, you then kind of have some leeway there. So here's the question, right? Would I restructure any of the remaining 3 guys to kind of open up some more space? So let's take a look at Zeke's contract. Again, I think I spelled his name wrong. Okay, no, I didn't. Cool. So, Jesus Christ. I just realized that was fucking hell. Zeke has now, are we including 2022? Yeah. So Zeke now has 5 remaining years on his contract. Good Lord. So, friends, let me tell you something. If you do not want to keep Zeke, you don't touch his contract. However, if the Cowboys would love to have Zeke, then you, by all means, okay. And I say that with the... Look, I would not be shocked if Zeke runs this whole contract out, he retires after that shit, because he's done. But I'm not restructuring Zeke's contract. Hell no. That it's way too long. If he had 2 years remaining, I would have a different conversation. Now let's look at Lyell's contract. Lyell Collins. We gotta, before I make my decision. So with Lyell, you have a couple years remaining. Now, I saw someone someone in the comments mention putting him at left guard. Now, for me, I think that that's the move you want to do, because if you want to, so like if you really want to look at it this way. So now we're gonna refresh this. Chart after we're all said and done. So, with that being said, that means Connor Williams is gone, Ty Neshke is gone, Dalton Schultz is gone, Michael Gallup is gone, Cedric Wilson, Noah Brown are gone. Okay, sorry. Corey Clement is gone. Randy's gone. Dorrance Armstrong is gone. Mitch Hyatt, he's a restricted free agent, so odds are he'll come back. Watkins is gone. Van Der Esch is gone. These guys are gone. Who was it that was the restricted free agent? I think it was who was it? It was Francis Bernard. Okay, I could see him coming back. These guys are gone. KZ's gone. These two are back. Maurice Kennedy is gone. Oh, by the way, the Cowboys signed a new kicker. Greg Zuerlein is gone. Anthony Brown is gone. Where is he at? Neville Gallimore. Or not Neville Gallimore. Oh, my God. Terrell Basham is gone. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit refresh on here. And we're going to start this all over again. Yeah, I agree. Zeke will be done before the contract's up, and I hate to say that because I love Zeke, especially, considering, what he's been doing in the league. But it does suck that that's going to end up, being the telling tale. Keep in mind, the depth chart, this doesn't inherently mean that, like, these are going to be your guys. Like, oh, like Connor McGovern's going to be your starter or some bullshit like that, to be honest with you. It's just, this would be your depth chart, assuming, like, you had to start a game today or something like that. Okay, so... But can we see Simi next year? I mean, it isn't off topic because it's a legitimate point of conversation. Like, dude, like, he... you might... Okay, so... This is your roster now, assuming you keep these guys, right? Now, again, I'm not going to change, the losses. That's not what I'm going to be doing here. But now the question mark becomes, okay, so now how do you handle this? Because for me, you can throw Lyell at left guard. Now, this is going to sound really bonkers to some of you, but I'm really thinking if you can throw Terrence Steele at left tackle, he's going to put in that work to be good. Now, you might be thinking I'm crazy for saying that, but when Terrence Steele was playing left tackle, the first game he did it, of course he wasn't playing well because he was playing right tackle that entire time. It's hard to, you kind of have to go through a whole offseason to do that. Lyell was never your swing tackle at any point in time. When you're the swing tackle designation, you're going to learn how to play both. And thank you, Tyrone. I was going to bring that up. You can throw Terrence there. You could throw Josh Ball over at left tackle. But for me, I would rather you take the entire offseason to train Terrence Steele to be your left tackle and Josh Ball to be your right tackle. You might think I'm crazy for saying that, but Josh Ball, we have yet, I like what I saw from him based off of, like, the footage from college, but I would like for him to start at right tackle. Terrence, throw him at left tackle for now, because I think that as much as Terrence has played extremely well at right tackle, I'm more concerned about my left tackle position, and we'll get into the draft about that. Aside from that, now what needs do I need to address based off of what I see here? To me, it looks like that you're going to need a linebacker or two. You're going to need a defensive end or two, maybe three. You're going to definitely need a guard, a left guard at that. Maybe a center if you want to upgrade. And a wide receiver and tight end. Like, so you have options. So now, we go into, now that we've brought back our players, okay, so now we have about $15 million in cap space. Around $15 million in cap space. But, again, do not pay attention to that number because it's not fully accurate. So, going back to this. Here's, again, the point I'm trying to get at. If you firmly believe that you want to keep the player, you can restructure them. My thing is that, how much would we save if we restructured Lyle? You would save about $5 million. If you restructure Tyron, you're saving about $6 million. If you cut Tyron, you're saving about $5 million. So, for me, the only move I think I would do out of this is restructure Lyle if you're looking to keep him long term. But again, I have my issues with keeping Lyle Collins long term. So what I would probably do in this situation would be looking at if you're going to keep him at right tackle, which again, we've already restructured Dak's contract. Yes, we did. We'll come back to that because we'll come back to that. So there are a couple free agent targets that I have been looking at. So to start things off, let's go back to the list. If I can get back to the list. Jerry Jones loves Lyle. I know. I understand that because yeah. So now, with the moves we made, we brought back a good chunk of players. So, I want to first start off by seeing, is there a wide receiver in free agency that you could grab that makes sense? I've talked about T.Y. Hilton. I've talked about Juju Smith-Schuster. I understand that people have their opinions on him. I'll get into that in a moment. And you have Sammy Watkins. So, if it were up to me, the biggest thing that I'm looking at is, out of the three, who's the most talented and who would make the most sense money-wise. Juju Smith-Schuster is the most talented. Now, I see Christian Kirk. I think he might be out of your price range, unless is he a free agent? Is he really a free agent? Hold on. Oh, there he is. Let's see. What is his market value? $11 million. No. No, I need... I'm going to get into a couple of these other things. I mean, I would love Christian Kirk, but he's not going to get... Hell no. He ain't taking $3 million. Odell's at 13. Good Lord. And that's the big thing, and I'm glad you guys are bringing that up, because that is a main thing I'm looking at. I'm looking for a speed guy. Never mind. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it ain't good. There really isn't a whole lot of speed guys coming out of this, free agency class. Unless someone can bring someone to mind. Juju is too much drama for me. I do agree there. And I did value Juju Smith-Schuster at $7 million a year. Now, the Cowboys were interested in Sammy Watkins a couple years back. Do they bring him back? Now, for me, I'm going to, not to spoil what I'm trying to do, but I am looking at drafting a young receiver. I really am. And if it were up to me, I would probably go with Sammy Watkins or T.Y. Hilton. What's T.Y. Hilton's market value? 6.2 mil. I mean, that's doable. That's about the market value for Cedric Wilson. And this is kind of so the part where it gets me is that would I consider re-signing Cedric Wilson at this point in time? And based off of the market, you probably would like to. And his market value, and I was looking at it the other day. His market value is about $6.5 million. Yeah, and that's the thing is like I would rather just draft a receiver at this point in time. But again, because I just don't know, man. Like, but let's skip receiver for now. There are a couple other cheap guys that I was looking at. So the first one is Quan Alexander of the New Orleans Saints. His market value is about, well, contract-wise, he's probably looking at about $1 to $2 million. And if you're like Stephen Jones and you love those value pickups, you could probably get one of those guys. So let's see, New Orleans Saints. There's Quan. I've had him at $1.5 million. Yeah, jeez. Then the next guy I had was O.J. Howard of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and that's because you're going to get a guy that can be that receiving threat, but he hasn't been utilized a whole lot, so his stock just dropped dramatically when they brought in Rob Gronkowski. So I would go a $2.5 million deal over 2 years for O.J. Howard. Stevie Baby Nuts Jones. Now, finally, kickers. Kickers, you cannot have enough of. Charles Harris at defensive end. Oh, we'll get to that. Again, I apologize. My allergies are killing me right now. So, you got Young Hui Koo, Eddie Pinheiro. I mean, if it were me, I would love to have Young Hui Koo, because he was a really good kicker for Atlanta. I mean, the only thing that Greg has going for him is that leg of his. I really liked Joey. I think Joey Sly was in Carolina. But we're going to go Young Hui Koo. I'm going to give him a $1 million, unless he gets re-signed. But I would definitely bring him in. And again, like, I would make it like how his contract is, where if it's a 1-year deal, but like you can cut him type of thing. Joey Sly was not really the greatest for... He missed 8... What? Really? 82%? Oh, God. Would you re-sign Brent Urban? I think I did, didn't I? Or did I not? I don't think I did. Let me see. I thought I did. I'm pretty sure I re-signed Brent Urban. Yeah, I re-signed him on a 1-year deal. I would re-sign Brent Urban because he was really good in the run defense game. Okay. Final thing. I think that the biggest thing you can get is a defensive end or a rusher. So someone mentioned, what was his name? Charles Harris. Is he an edge or is he like an actual like defensive end? Because yeah, exactly. Thank you, Carlos. That was a big thing. Okay. So I would really love another edge rusher on this team. And there are a couple guys I liked. But he is a defensive end? Okay. Let me see. Because I want to make at least one big play in free agency. Okay. What's his market value? Oh my God. Well, it's doable. Like, we can make that happen. Doesn't make sense to do that, though. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me see what other options we have, and then we'll come back to that. There he is. Okay, he was just hiding at the bottom. He is a really... Emmanuel Ogbah finally started becoming something in Miami, so I think, I mean... Ingram, I was looking at Ingram. Ingram would be a 1-year, $8 million deal type of player. And he really... When he got signed by the Chiefs, that defense turned around real quick. So, where is he at? Ingram. Because I really wanted the Cowboys to make a play for him, and he showed why. And that's what pissed me off. Those assholes, they didn't want to... Tack McKinley? Hell no, I don't want Tack McKinley. I don't know, man. I mean... He's an outside linebacker? No, I got you. Alright, hold up 1 second. Let me take a look at Charles Harris real quick and what his stats look like. So he had 7 sacks. I don't know why he's labeled as a linebacker. I thought he was labeled as is he a defensive end or a linebacker? Or I guess he's just an edge. Like, they make this stuff so goddamn confusing. A guy I really liked was Hassan Riddick, because when they finally played, when the I think it was the Panthers, when the Panthers played him at an edge rusher, not linebacker, he played very, very well. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. See, this is why I hate it when they label this stuff. So, all right, let's go back to here. I mean, I don't know, guys. I mean, what do you think? I would really like someone. Yeah, you can't get both, unfortunately. That's what's going to suck. You know, I don't like looking at stats because stats don't tell the whole story. But you got to bring someone in here. And I'm saying, F it. Let's go with Charles Harris at defensive end. Let's do it. You got to bring someone in here, and I think that, and I have one player. What do you think we're doing with LVE? I wouldn't be shocked if we re-signed him, but I wouldn't honestly re-sign him because you could probably Here's the problem, and I'm gonna talk about this in 1 second once I add where's the Lions? There they are. Where are you at, Charles Harris? So Charles Harris, let's just put him on an $8 million deal. Now again, we have a $5 to $4 million gap, so now we're at about $3 million left on the cap. I had my stuff written down. So I'm going to say, or let's just do 8.5 million. Always like to round up a little bit. So now we have about $3.5 to $4 million, or right, $3.5 to $4.5 million left over, based off of our numbers. So I would say I want to target an outside linebacker. I know some of you guys have been mentioning some names like Tack. How much is J.K. Wright going for? Hell no. I'm not spending that kind of money on that guy. Yeah, Tack is terrible, and I hate to be like that towards certain players because I know they play football a lot better than me, but I would not want Tack McKinley. Tack McKinley, you know, there's a reason why he isn't really a sought-out free agent. So, Melvin Ingram, I believe his market value is $8 million or something like that. Like, someone said something. Okay, but, like, right now he's getting paid $4 million. I would argue that Terrell Basham is actually better than Tack McKinley, and that's A very, very minuscule number. How much would Anthony Barr be looking at? Does anybody know? Well, Anthony Barr, I don't know. I would say, like, here's the thing. Like, I would say, like, I would keep some salary cap space open in the event that's, like, you know, like what's his name? Like an Everson Walls, an Everson Griffin. Let's see. Let me see. What's his name at? So let's see what they're saying. So they're saying, like, he should be worth, like, $8 million. But I wouldn't pay $8 million for him. I don't know. I think I would save the money and just hope to God that you find someone. I don't know, man. Like, there's way too many options. Honestly, I'd probably bring back LVE if that's the case. But, you know, Anthony Barr price. Anthony Barr is probably going to be like an $8 million prove-it deal. I think you could get Leighton on the cheap. Like, you could probably get him on like a $3 to $5 million deal. Which I wouldn't mind, but he's just... he's gotten me scarred for life. So, let's go ahead and let's go back here and let's redo our depth chart. So, who did we bring on board? We brought on board Youngway Ku, right? Is it just KO, right? Yep. Let's see. God damn it. We got Charles Harris now. I'm actually gonna move that. Now again, listen, there's no way in hell the Cowboys would do any of the moves I'm even contemplating thinking about them doing. But I don't care. And then Quan Alexander. I thought I signed someone else. Is that it? Yeah, Quan Alexander. Yeah. This is 4 guys, right? Yeah. I would say if you bring in O.J. Howard now that we're kind of like moving things around, O.J. Howard would be your backup tight end. Quan Alexander would probably be your 3rd linebacker behind your Will Cox, being honest with you. And Youngway Ku would be your starting kicker because you're paying him. But of course the Cowboys won't, you know, do that. But that's okay. Alright, so... Now that we've done all this, and how long have we been streaming for? About 40 minutes. It's time to end this thing on a mock draft. I'm not going to do a full mock draft because I haven't done that much into prospects. So we're going to do Walk the Mock, you know, fun little one that was recommended to me. So, what are our needs going into this draft now that we've kind of signed our guys? So I feel like defensive end, you could use another young guy. You can always use young talent there. I'm looking for another linebacker, primarily due to the fact that this is what you want. You want Micah Parsons to be your rusher. Let these guys, you know, do their defensive end duties. I really want Micah Parsons to rush. Isn't Donovan Wilson on a... Yeah, it's a defensive end linebacker and wide receiver. Yeah, so for me, my biggest needs are offensive line, wide receiver, and just depth at the other positions. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Joseph. Wide receiver, you could use a young one, but we'll see. We got to wait and see how the draft goes. So, before we start, like, who are your guys' main pick at 24, assuming the draft goes standard? Because for me, there's a lot of movement that can happen. And again, the draft is unpredictable, so we're gonna go ahead and do a vanilla draft with no trades. Be the Dallas Cowboys. We'll do the default ranking. Okay, so okay. Close that out. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna stop with the 3rd round pick. After the 3rd round pick we make, we're all good. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. Oh crap, okay, it's going way too fast. Stop immediately. Sir. Calm the hell down. Alright, vanilla draft. Alright, so let's see. Let me do trading places because this will make it go pick by pick. Because screw that. Like, sir. Alright. Default ranking. Again, we will stop after the 3rd round pick. Okay. Now, before we get started, this year is going to be a weird year because there is not a quarterback that you can say that, okay, this is who we want. So the Penn State wide, you're talking about what, was it Dotson? Dotson, right? Yeah, Jahan Dotson. I always, I called him Doxson one time and I was like, wait a minute. No, it's Dotson. I really like Jahan. I think he would be awesome in Dallas. Just saying. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So Jacksonville's on the clock. They go with Aiden Hutchinson. We got... oh, God. All right, this... Garrett Wilson is not going number 2 overall. But then again... I've seen crazier shit happen in my lifetime. So then again, we'll see. Sam Howell going to Houston, not surprised. Like you said, Joseph, 2 quarterbacks can take him before a pick. I agree there. I think it will be him and Malik Willis or Matt Corral or something like that. Or hell, you could maybe even say 3. The Jets are on the clock and they take Kevon Thibodeau. Damn, dude, if you're the Jets and you land him, holy crap. The Giants take Evan Neal. The Panthers go with, god damn, Nakobe Dean at 6. And then again, draft's a crapshoot. Teams draft shitty, so not saying that's a terrible pick. I just think that's way too high for Nakobe Dean. Devin Lloyd and Evan Neal to the Giants. Dude, I'm mad because the Giants got really good. I'm not buying Kyle Hamlin as a top 5 pick. Hell no. I'm not taking a safety that high. And now we have the Falcons on the clock. They go with Kyle. Speaking of Kyle Hamlin, he goes 8. That's still way too high for me. Dude, Derek Stingley is, here's the thing. I really like Derek Stingley in college, but I have a weird feel. Like, I have a bad feeling about him in the NFL. I don't know. The Broncos are on the clock, and the Broncos take George Karlaftis, the edge rusher from Purdue. Jets are back on the clock. I believe this is Seattle's pick. And with Seattle's pick, they go with Derek Stingley Jr., the quarterback out of LSU. I mean, if you're the Jets and you come away with that kind of haul for your defense, that's pretty damn goddamn good. So, Washington is on the clock, and they go with Matt Corral, the quarterback out of Ole Miss. I do think Washington needs a quarterback. They are a quarterback away from really getting things into gear. Would Matt Corral be that guy? I don't know. I think, and I don't know how I do agree. The Broncos, that was that's a really good pick. I didn't really think about that. I really like Carson Strong in this draft right now. I think he has work to do, but still. Okay. The Vikings are on the clock, and they take Akeem Ekanu from North Carolina State. That is, oh my god, dude. I would love to have him on the Cowboys. I think he would be fantastic. If the Vikings were to land him, holy shit. Oh, hold up. Sorry, guys. Let me move. I didn't realize that I was blocking the thing. My bad. All right, the Browns are on the clock. Would that make sense for them to take Tyler Linderbaum? What's going on, Jackie Smith? Glad to see you. I don't know. Let me ask you this. Do the Browns really need a center? Would they really go with Tyler Linderbaum? Now, listen. Linderbaum, I'm in group chats with friends of mine that do this draft look. And we've all come to the conclusion that Tyler Linderbaum has been the best center prospect we have seen in years. And there's no cap there. Typically, centers, you don't need to draft in the first round that high, but he's definitely deserving of that pick. And if he's there at 24, oh, yes, take him. Okay, I'm not going to bother lingering on this. Let's move on. Now we have the Ravens. The Ravens take Charles Cross, the offensive tackle out of Mississippi State. Not really, unless they make him a guard. That would be weird. So we're 10 picks away. Now we have Philly's 3 picks. Browns need a receiver, QB, and edge. Yeah, I was going to say, like, that's so weird. All right. Next thing, we got Philly on the clock, and they go with David Ojabo from Michigan. I mean, Philly, if they're smart, if they have the back-to-back picks, they should probably just trade down with one of them. But they won't, probably. But I'm shocked, so, like, let's just keep going. I would imagine sometime someone's going to trade up for a quarterback, but I think there's also that, like, we don't know factor. And then they go with Andrew Booth Jr. from Clemson. Chargers are on the clock. They take DeMarvin Leal out of Texas A&M. The Saints take Traylon Burks out of Arkansas. The Eagles are back on the clock. They take Chris Olave. Or Olave. Is it Olave or Olave? I don't know. Okay, so here's the Eagles haul. David Ojabo, Andrew Booth Jr., and Chris Olave. Should we be worried about that? For me, I think that's a solid haul, but I don't know. With who's on the board, holy crap. I don't know, man. I want to be saying that because Kenyon Green is staring us right in the face. Olave, okay. Thank you. Now we have the, No? Okay, so that's not a good haul. Not to be worried. Cool. Steelers are on the clock, and they take Ahmad Gardner, cornerback out of Cincinnati. Patriots on the clock. Jamison Williams goes to the Patriots. I want to ask you guys an honest question, and I have a weird part of me that has this feeling. If Jamison Williams, assuming how our offseason went, if Jamison Williams fell to the Cowboys at pick 24, would you think about taking him? Just be honest with me. Because I would consider it, but it would depend on who else is on the board. That is a fantastic pick by the Patriots. Holy shit. You get a weapon like that for Mac Jones. Take him. The Pats don't really have a good receiving. Not really? Okay. I wanted to kind of get us consensus, and I greatly appreciate that from you guys. Raiders are on the clock. Drake London. To be honest with you, That kind of feels like a Raiders pick. Arizona on the clock, and they take Martin Emerson, quarterback out of Memphis State. Can we do trades? I don't think we can do trades. I was going to say, is this a hot take to say that I like Mechie over Jameson Williams? Because I kind of hold that opinion. That's 100% a Raiders pick. Let me just take a look at the board. I already know Kenyon Green would be my pick here, but I want to ask you guys for your opinion. Would you consider trading down if you were in this situation? I don't think I can do trades, but while you do that, I'm going to analyze. Would there so far there's only been 2 quarterbacks taken. I personally would see I would personally see the Steelers going with Kenny Pickett. A lot of you were saying yes, we should trade down. My question though is there like a legitimate trade down partner to 27? Well, why would the Buccaneers want to come up to pick 27 for a quarterback? I mean, okay, so let's take a look. I'm just gonna see like what would they do, because if we miss out on Kenyon Green, then I'm gonna look like, okay, so let's see. So you got to pay a tax for it. So if I were the Buccaneers, I'm probably looking up at getting pick 3. No O-line. Well, the Cowboys need a guard. We haven't taken a guard in this simulation yet. And then when you kind of look at the interior of the offensive line, I mean, Zion Johnson is still there. So, look, I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm in agreement with Joseph here, and this is where I feel. Kenyon Green is the pick. I don't care what anybody says. You do not pass up on a talent like Kenyon Green. There we go. So now, let's go back to our roster here. Zion's still there drafted. No. Kenyon Green is a better prospect than Zion Johnson. Don't fool. No. Zion Johnson is a guy that, like, look, Kenyon Green, I do not believe will be there at 24. Zion Johnson will not be there, or he might be there at 24. All right, so let's go ahead and keep going. So there goes Jaquan Brisker. Okay. Kenny Pickett goes to the Bucs. Give me 1 second, guys. I will be right back. Okay. I'm back. So let's go ahead and go back here. So, I mean, like, you could have maybe gotten... But, again, you don't trade down when you have a talent like that available. I hate to say that. All right, so... There goes Jordan Davis. Piet Fryer. David Bell. Trevor Penning. Dude, if Trevor Penning goes that far down, holy shit. That would be awesome for the Bengals. Malik Willis. How does Detroit have pick 32? Oh, my dumbass. Because of the Stafford trade. Brandon Smith. Oh my god, I would love Brandon Smith in Dallas, but I doubt he's going to be there. Trevon Walker. Jalen Weidermeyer. I'm just kind of skipping through this. Daniel. Desmond Ritter. That is the most Seahawks pick I've ever seen. Holy shit. Dude, they don't even have a first-round pick, and the first goddamn thing they go to is a running back. Holy shit, that is hilarious. They could take... Oh, my God. That is so funny. Oh, my God. That is unrealistic. Zion Johnson is not falling that far. As long as the Commodes don't take a quarterback. Well, they did in this one, so... Oh, there goes Jahan Dotson, man. He went to... Oh, my God. Logan Hall, Cameron Thomas, Jermaine Johnson. Oh, my God. That would be awesome if he was there. Trent McDuffie, Drake Jackson, Trey McBride, Alec Lindstrom, Daxton Hill, Carson Strong to the Steelers. Darius Kennard. Now we are back on the clock, so let's see what talent we got. I already know the pick I'm going to make, and you guys probably just saw me go by him. So, for me, the question is and it's going to be a receiver here. Because, again, if you just came in, we just did the off-season. So, for me, it's a toss-up between George Pickens and John Mechie. Now, you might be saying, well, Space, why are we looking at receiver? So, if you look at our free agents, we already got our guard. We need a receiver. We got some linebacker help. So, we kind of gotten our stuff there. Let's go back here. I mean, I've heard a lot of people talk good about George Pickens, but is it weird for me to say that John Mechie III is the better wide receiver prospect coming out of Alabama compared to that of Jameson Williams? Is that a incorrect take? So my question to you guys is, what do you do here? I mean, let's see, what tight ends do you still have on the board? I mean, I wouldn't need to take a tight end right now, because I could just afford to do this. Well, you guys think about that. I need to just take a look at something. Give me 1 second. I've heard good things about his speed. Is that true? Let's see. So, George Pickens. I'm just kind of taking a look at a couple things. I'm just kind of going through a couple things. I apologize. Well, let's go ahead and go this way. So if we're looking at wide receiver now, Coop is gone for... No. I'm going to show you what's going on. So right now in our current simulation that we're going on here, we lost everybody except Malik Turner. So you're kind of looking at it this way, right? Is that because we did a lot of moves in free agency that we kind of touched up on certain positions. Now you're kind of just going best player available. And for me, I mean, let's look at the he does major injury and profile. Let's see, what's his profile? Deontay Johnson. What are they? I'm not saying that this is gonna make. I know that George Pickens is like a very. Yeah. Let's go with John Michie. We need speed. I think he's coming off. Did he? Yeah, he got hurt. But I really think you need the speed, and I think you're going to get that with him. So we're going to go with John Michie, with an Alabama wide receiver. Alrighty, I'm going to speed things up. We're going to just skip to the Cowboys pick. Cowboys are back on the clock. Now, this is going to be the final pick of the entire draft. Alright, let's get off the wide receiver list. Haven't really gotten these that far into, Alright. Sorry. I don't know. There's a lot of options. I mean, you don't really need to go tight end because you already got another one. I don't know. I'll let you get. Let's see. What linebackers do you have? We do need some edge rushers. Calvin Austin, aka Grease Lightning. Oh my god, I would love. I think did he go already? No, he didn't. All right, cool. The Wyoming linebacker. I don't see him. I'm not gonna act like I like a good chunk of these guys I haven't really been able to take a look at. This is hard because I don't know. Let's see. And I've heard of him, Christopher Allen. I know he got hurt. Tight ends. You have a couple options, but I wouldn't take a tight end because there's no need to take a tight end. Unless you're gonna cut Blake Jarwin. I don't know. This gets tough when you get into the latter part of the draft because I've been more focused on the first two rounds. I don't care. Let's just roll with a linebacker. Let's just say we take a linebacker, and that does that. So before we wrap up, kind of want to recap a couple things. So in today's video, or rather live stream, we did a mock. We did a mock simulation of the offseason. We went through free agency, re-signed some players, restructured some players, and all that other stuff, and we drafted a couple players. I think the point I'm trying to get at, the Cowboys can make moves. They deliberately choose not to. And it's funny because in our entire offseason situation, we were not only able to get guys that can come in and make instant impacts in free agency. But we were able to go into the draft and do the same thing. And it goes to show you that if Stephen Jones is lying to everybody, and I put this out on Twitter, there is a cycle. Let me see if I can pull it up for you guys. Because there's a reason why I did today's live video. So the first thing is this. Is this going to show up? I want you to look at that. Remember when Troy Aikman said that the Cowboys were not better than the Jets and the Jags, or they were just as good? Yeah. The Cowboys regular season wise have been solid. Playoff wise, the Cowboys have a worse playoff record, and they have been lapped by both Jacksonville and New York in conference championship game appearances. Jacksonville came into existence, I believe, in 95. And 96 and onward, they've appeared in 3 conference championship games. Dallas has appeared in none. The Jets have appeared in 3. And Dallas has appeared in none. Jacksonville last appeared in 2017, technically 2018. The Jets, 2010, technically 2011. So what is the takeaway from this? The takeaway is that Troy has a point. The Cowboys have not been successful in the playoffs, and there are teams that are snake bitten, but there is a reason to get to that point. And where is it at? I had a tweet that went viral. And I want to show you guys if you guys are still following. This has almost 1,000 likes. Not that that matters. Stephen Jones basically said something like, we owe it to our fans to bring another championship to Dallas. And then Stephen Jones will simultaneously also mention, like, now he hasn't actually said this, but like, he basically comes up with an excuse like, okay, so we're going to do what we always done even though it hasn't worked. So for example, like, okay, we're going to go for the valued free agents and stuff like that. It doesn't work. So then you got this. I don't know if this guy's being sarcastic. I disagree. They tried different things. So far, none have achieved the ultimate goal. Okay, that's a lie, first off, because, look, what multiple things have they tried in the past 8 years, my guy? Like, let's be honest. Like, the Cowboys have not done anything different since 2013, really 2014, if you want to be that serious. They drafted well, but they haven't done anything in free agency, and it's resulted in nothing. Not the most fair critique. Most teams operate 80% the same with a little... That is such bullshit. That's true. They haven't done anything that's... That's a fan. Never give up on your favorite team. Fans are vulnerable. I'm kind of going through this because I'm just trying to see if they're... I love this. You can't get more polar opposite. That's really fucking funny. Now, I think the problem is that people thought that was a legitimate quote, and I want to stress that this is not a legitimate quote. And I do apologize if you saw this tweet and you thought that was a legit quote, because it is not a legit quote. But I do want to make this emphatically clear. Stephen Jones is a goddamn sociopath, okay? And he thinks, or rather, like, he really thinks that, like, you can get away with this shit. So here it comes. The greatest thing you will ever see. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's hard to see it. Hold up. Let me see if I can zoom in. Oh, yeah, you're not going to see. So let me, move over here. Move this over here. Ooh, hello. So let me go ahead and I'm going to cover this guy's face because he's a piece of shit. So let's go through this, shall we? Okay, hold on, let me make sure. Okay. So the Cowboys get positive cap space. Steven then goes and talks about how he likes the roster as it is right now and says all we need is value. That's where we're at right now. We're at step 2. Step 3. The Cowboys let their free agents hit the open market without signing them. Stephen Jones stresses the importance of homegrown talent through the draft. That has happened before, and it's going to happen again. And I think he's mentioned, like, homegrown talent before, like, in the last week or two. The Cowboys wait until week 4 of unrestricted free agency to sign tier 3 to 5 free agents. Now, when I say that, there are tiers of free agents between 1 and 5. 1 is a superstar star type of player. 2 is a solid, like a starter to good, like a good starter. 3 is a solid starter, possible backup. 4 is a backup. 5 is a practice squad player. Pretty much. Cowboys draft players to fill free agency gaps and needs from the previous year. That's the problem, is the Cowboys utilize the draft to fill the needs. And I think, I'm not sure if I put this out on Twitter. I don't think I did. But I want Stephen Jones to understand something. Your value pickups are in the draft, ladies and gentlemen, so please stop. Did you see Tony Pollard like Scott? Really? Oh shit, I gotta see that. That's, oh my god. I really gotta see that. So now an important Cowboys player or players come up for contract, and Stephen Jones, rather than paying the player, negotiates through the media. That happens so goddamn often, it is unbelievable. Then the price of said Cowboys players rise due to inaction by Stephen Jones or other players are getting paid. So the market goes up. Contract drama / some other nonsense happens now or sometime before, causing tension with the team going into the season. The Cowboys season comes and goes with disappointment. Stephen Jones talks about the importance of winning a championship for fans while Jerry is mad. Cowboys are over the cap due to that's happened before as well. Cowboys are over the cap due to Steven waiting to pay players or paying the wrong players. Plus, he steps 6 through 7 because they lead to that point. Okay, it's always okay. Gotcha. Brings up the cap. Yeah, he'll bring up the importance of the salary cap. That's why he's got Kappa Boy as his nickname. The Cowboys release / restructure important Cowboy players to get under the cap, but not enough to get room for tier 1 to 2 free agents, the ones that you need to really win. And then when the cycle starts all over again, this is exactly what happened last year. It happened the year before that. This is something that has been going on since 2013, people. And I get so damn annoyed with it because there are legit Cowboy fans, as I close out all of that and we get into our closing remarks. There are legitimate Cowboy fans that think that we can just plug, we're fine. And stop that shit. Stop believing what the Jones family wants you to believe. I'm not trying to sound like a conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but the part that pisses me off more than anything is the fact that you have these stupid fucks that want to go out there and think that, no, don't worry about it. All this other bullshit. Fuck that. And I get frustrated as hell because people think, like, I'm being so pessimistic. Like, and here's another thing. I hate it when I see people going after guys like, sorry, I'm just moving things around. I hate it when people go out there like, Brian Broaddus is one of my favorite media guys out there. Former scout, I think, for the Packers, and he won a Super Bowl with them, and people want to bitch about, like, whatchamacallit, like, they want to bitch about, like, you're being too negative, or like, oh, why can't you be happy about the team? Listen, I've been a fan of this team since I've been born, and since I can recollect and watch things. I have earned the right to bitch about this team as much as I want to, as any other loyal fan would. If you want to be a blind fan, now listen, I'm not, and I've talked about this numerous times. I don't take the Cowboys super seriously in the sense of if they lose, I just shrug it off because I know, number one, it's coming, and number two, there are more important things in my life that I got to worry about. Those are the first couple things there. But what's more important is that I think where Jerry and Steven differ, Steven cannot sell the Cowboys fan base on this bullshit. They can't. Jerry knows how to sell shit. His son sucks. Now, Charlotte Jones understands the situation at hand. She understands that, look, we can't be fucking around. Like, we had to do... So, I am praying that Jerry gets mad at Steven, and Steven gets slighted, and Charlotte Jones becomes the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, in case you don't know who Charlotte Jones is, Charlotte Jones is the chief branding officer of the Dallas Cowboys and executive vice president. So I'm trying to see when she first got with the Cowboys. I want to say it's been years. I think when Jerry got the team. But I would really like Charlotte Jones to be the next owner of the Dallas Cowboys. Because Steven Jones can sincerely go suck a chode. Screw him. Seriously. Steven Jones is 57 years old. You know goddamn well if this dude got... Jesse Holley's been really pushing buttons as well. It's got to be hard for him not to fully rip on the Joneses while he works. And CD, I greatly appreciate you bringing that up because that is a true thing. Like, here's the thing, and I've said this. I don't like how media goes they go soft on the Cowboys ownership group, but I understand why they had to do it. I'm not that naive. Let's see. I'm just hoping to God Steven Jones does not become the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, because that would suck. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, either way, I don't want to go on for too long because my congestion is now starting to kill me. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream. I greatly appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you could like the video, subscribe if you're new, and hit the notification bell, that'd be awesome. And yeah, hopefully hopefully the off season isn't as bad as I think it's going to be. But until they prove me wrong, here we are. So I will catch you guys in the